volunteers are seeing that impact firsthand.
Yeah, they're waking up in the border town of McAllen, motivated to help.
It's not about politics. These are refugees. These are families and kids that need our care. They're asking for help.
Our Sally Hernandez is live this morning in McAllen. We're taking a closer look at really the efforts of Central Texans are making. You've been there since Sunday, Sally. What have you been seeing?
A lot, Kate. A lot of heartbreaking stories definitely here at Sacred Heart Church. Now, this is the distribution center for those undocumented immigrants. Mostly saw a lot of moms, and I saw a lot of little kids, some infants here at the distribution center. Now, this is a place where they come after they are processed by immigration officials. And yesterday, we finally got to go inside, beyond the fence here. Media access is limited because there are some of these immigrants that are sleeping inside the tents that we showed you yesterday, and some of the kids who walked out with soccer balls, remember that, and backpacks. Well, we now know that they were on their way to the bus station because after they are processed here, they are given a bus ticket to be reunited with family members, and they're also given a court date. Well, yesterday we talked to a woman who made the trip from Guatemala to the border here to McAllen. She says they took some buses, they did some walking, but she had two of her children with her. She had a 5-year-old little boy, her little boy, and her 4-year-old girl, Gabriela and Pablo, and they were here with her yesterday. She didn't want us to show you them. She said they were dirty and they needed to take a shower. Well, this is a place where they can take a shower, where they can eat, and they can rest a little bit inside these tents right there as well. So when we talked to her, I asked her, why did you come over here? She said, I came because I don't have an opportunity where I'm from. My kids don't. We're poor, there are no jobs, and I thought this is the best opportunity I could give them here in the U.S. So I asked, what would you say then to the people who say you should not be here illegally?
There are things in the news of people saying they don't want us here. We didn't come to hurt anyone, to steal, rob from them. We came for the opportunity.
And that is why the people here at Sacred Heart say they are helping these undocumented immigrants, the moms and the children. As of last count, we heard about 5,600 of them were helped just at this distribution center. Politics aside, nobody talks about politics beyond that fence. It's all about the humanitarian crisis. All the donations that are poured in, coming from all over the country, we found out. But they're all taken to the food bank first, where they are sorted out.
It's about a 1,500-mile trek if you walk. So, I mean, it's for some of these people, they walk. But, I mean, it's a lot of miles to do.
And so he's talking about the shoes that were donated and how they go quickly. Yesterday, he said he had a text alert from the volunteers who were saying, we are running out of women's shoes. We don't have a lot of women's shoes to give out here at the Sacred Heart Church. So he was asking for donations for women's shoes, and he said you'll find it on the website of the Rio Grande Valley Food Bank. So that is why they are here this morning, and that's why the volunteers have made their way from Austin here to McAllen so they could help out. They're helping out here at the Sacred Heart Church, volunteering at that food bank that you saw, and also at the Salvation Army. So coming up, we're going to talk to some of those volunteers about what they saw and their first day volunteering here in McAllen. Back to you.
Well, Sally, I mean, just from looking at the pictures, you can see that, even though we can't see the kids' faces, there are so many young kids there. What kind of condition are they in? How did they seem to be dealing with, I mean, 1,500-mile trek to the U.S. and then trying to deal with where they're going to next?
Kate, I'm so happy you asked that question because it was very strange being inside that distribution center and seeing these moms and how tired they were, and they were crying and they were upset. But to the side, there is a play area that these volunteers made for these kids, and there is laughter, and they're coloring, and they're playing tag, and they're running around. And then when I was talking to Ileana Martinez, that mom, she said, I don't want you to show my kids on TV, their faces, they're dirty, you know, they're happy one day, they're sad the next day, you know, don't do that. And I obviously said, okay, we won't. But then when I was talking to her, I hear somebody playing a sound. And as the doors open here to the tent, there are people who are sleeping there right now and resting as they head out for their journey. But when I was talking to Ileana, Kate, I heard a musical machine in the background, and it was playing It's a Small World. It's a small world after all. And I thought, that's ironic, isn't it? And I talked to the volunteers, they said, yeah, it really is a small world, and they hope that everybody comes together and sees it as a humanitarian crisis. Just saw the volunteers who pulled up, so we'll talk to them in just a bit.
All right, Sally, thank you so much. We appreciate it. Now, to understand why these children are coming to Texas, it's important to know what they're escaping. Most of the 55,000 unaccompanied children caught at the border, they come from Honduras. 16,500 made the dangerous journey with no parents. Large numbers of children also come from El Salvador, Guatemala, and Mexico. The number of unaccompanied children coming to America is up for each country except Mexico. Central America has some severe challenges, namely drug cartels. San Pedro Sula, the Honduran city where many of the children are dropped off after being deported, is the deadliest in the world. Last year, they had nearly 1,300 murders in a city that's a little smaller than Austin. Austin, on the other hand, had just 26 murders. And one of America's most dangerous cities, Detroit, well, that has a similar population to San Pedro Sula and Austin, and it still had fewer murders at 386.